Greetings, everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of Teaching Tales, the podcast totally devoted to sharing stories from the world of education. I am Brent, your host, and joining me today, sitting across from my desk, I am in my office at school right now, and I have two of our amazing fifth graders. I have Jillian and Zavian. Jillian, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Mr. Coley.
How are you, Zavian?
I'm doing good.
Fantastic. I'm thrilled, guys. You asked me before we started recording, Mr. Coley, why did you choose us? And I said, I'm going to wait to tell you until we start recording. Guys, I chose you because this podcast, you probably haven't listened to it, but this is about stories. Do you like listening to stories?
Oh, yes, I love to.
Zavian, you like stories?
Yeah.
Everyone likes stories. So what I do, guys, is I make a podcast where I have talked to teachers. I've talked to Mr. Walton, one of our fifth grade teachers, and we say, tell us a story that we can learn from. But I've always talked to adults. I have always wanted. This is episode 37. I want to talk to students. You are the students that I want to talk to. To answer your question, why did you choose us? You guys, I know, have good stories. You guys are very articulate. Do you know what that means?
No.
You speak very well.
I've gotten that comment a lot.
You've gotten that comment a lot. So I figured you guys would be perfect to share stories. And for anyone listening, the topic here is I asked Jillian and Zavian, I said, guys, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about the 3 favorite memories, your best memories of elementary school. They are both in 5th grade. So this could be anywhere from kindergarten up through halfway through 5th grade. Your favorite memories of 5th grade. Jillian, do you want to start? You want to tell us one of your stories? What's one of your favorite memories?
Well, I've got to say, in my 2nd grade year, I loved my teacher. It was Mrs. Romo, and she was just awesome. She did everything awesome. But my memory is when I brought in for my birthday strawberries and whipped cream. It is our family tradition, and I brought them in. And the first thing all the kids went for was all the whipped cream. And it was homemade, so it was delicious. My mom made it just that day, and the kids devoured the whipped cream. And there were a ton of strawberries. They devoured everything. And by the end of the day, my favorite thing was that they came out of the classroom covered in whipped cream, and it looks like they had just gone to like a salon or something and gotten like a face mask.
A facial. They had like a whipped cream face mask.
And it was hilarious. I've got a picture somewhere, actually.
You got a picture? That's awesome. Zavian, what about you? Tell us one of your favorite memories.
I'd say one of my favorite memories is 3rd grade. I don't remember when.
Okay.
But it was the day Jillian and I became best friends.
Oh. How did that happen?
Were
you in the same class?
Yeah.
Okay.
We basically just started a conversation, talking back and forth about what we like. And then we just started hanging out with each other a whole bunch, and so I figured we're probably best friends.
That's awesome.
And it's been like that for what?
For 3 years?
For
3 years since then, because you guys are
Yeah.
now in 5th grade. Very cool.
And we were frenemies in 2nd. I told on him a lot, and he actually got benched for putting.
Well, let's not incriminate Zavian
Well,
on tape, because again, this is people. The world could be listening to this.
But anyway.
We've all made choices. That's okay. So you guys are awesome. So, Jillian, do you have a second story, a second favorite memory?
Yes. This is a pretty good one. It happened more as a well, it was a school event, but it wasn't really something that incorporated with schoolwork. It was last year's talent show.
Ah.
I went to audition with a comedy act.
Okay.
And a little bit later that week, Miss Molitor called me in to her classroom. And
Miss Molitor is one of our teachers who was the talent show coordinator, who was organizing it all.
And she called me in with a 5th grader. I think his name was Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she just explained to us that we both did a comedy act, and we were both absolutely amazing at it. So we were both going to be the MCs of the talent show. And I basically just jumped off the walls. It was so exciting.
How much fun did you have during the during the talent show?
I had so much fun. I'm not a true comedian yet, but
Growth mindset.
But there I really just got to express my comedic talent. Josh is very comedic too. We put together an entire script. It was so fun, and I've got to say the last act with everyone in it, Can't Stop the Feeling, where everyone was just dancing, and it was so fun, and I'm never gonna forget it.
That's awesome. You did a fabulous job of emceeing, by the way. Zavian, your turn. Tell us another story of one of your favorite memories from elementary school.
I'd say one of my favorite memories was this year when we went to Pathfinder.
So Pathfinder Ranch, if I can interrupt you for a second, for anyone listening, 5th graders at our school in our district, we go to outdoor science school. It's a 3-day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They stay overnight 2 nights, an outdoor science school camp. Continue, Zavian.
So two of the best things that I did was archery and horseback riding. The horse that I got was really funny. His name was Biscuit.
What did he do anything that was particularly funny?
Yeah, he'd like speed up and then slow down.
Okay. Did you get any bullseyes when you did archery?
I don't remember. I think I might have gotten one.
Okay.
But one of the kids in my group, he actually shot the tree.
He missed the target and shot the tree?
Yeah.
Very cool. Jillian, you went to Pathfinder too.
Yes, I did.
What was your did you have any favorite memories from Pathfinder?
I'd have to say that archery, canoeing, and horseback riding were probably pretty high up on the list, along with the bonfire. The bonfire was fun. Zavian and I actually did an act together. For anyone listening, if you know Kentucky Fried Chicken, we did Kentucky Fried Chicken the song, and we had along with Eric and Sophia, and it was amazing. And then horseback riding was pretty cool too. My horse's name was Red, which pretty well suited me, and he's a lot like me, except a little headstrong. He's pretty headstrong. Every time I wanted him to kind of slow down a little bit, he'd just speed up more. And every time I'd want him to speed up, he'd be like,
No.
And slowing down.
Had a mind of his own.
Okay,
so last story. You said you had 3. What's your third favorite memory of elementary school, Jillian?
Oh my goodness. This was a pretty cool story. It's kind of incorporated with Pathfinder, but it was after Pathfinder.
Okay.
After Pathfinder, we were on the bus ride home, and there was this giant joke that there was an alien spaceship following us. Do you remember that? And we just kept, and it was pretty funny. We just kind of played out like aliens. Like Zavian can do a mad alien voice, and we played out aliens. Like we were pretending to be aliens to the other students, and we're like, the aliens are coming to get you. But that's pretty memorable because we were just playing around, and then someone came up behind us, and you know how I do the electric shock? That's where I got the electric shock. They reached behind and they went, aliens!
Pretended it's like an alien was behind you?
And it scared us to death. But at the very end, we just all ended up laughing because it was so fun.
Very fun. All right, Zavian, last story. What's your favorite, one of your top 3 memories from all of your elementary school experience?
Well, I'd have to say this is also kind of with Pathfinder. After we got off the buses, my mom was a little late picking me up.
Okay.
So Jillian and I found this really big stick, and at skit night at Pathfinder, we played a prank on my mom and Jillian's mom.
Oh boy.
We told my mom to hold one end of the stick and Jillian's mom to hold the other, and then we said we had a candy shop, but we don't have any other candy, but we only saw 2 dum-dums on a stick.
Because your parents were chaperones at the camp.
My mom wasn't.
Mine was.
Okay.
But that was one of the acts, and they actually had the teachers come up and do it.
I know. I was one of those teachers once. I was one of the dum-dums on a stick. How about that? So, well, Jillian and Zavian, the reason that I asked you to do this, to think of your 3, so we've heard like 6 different stories from 6 years or 5.5 years of elementary school, kindergarten through 5th grade. We're recording this halfway through your 5th grade year. And for any educators listening right now, you'll notice that of all the 6 stories, Zavian and Jillian, none of your stories were about worksheets. Were they?
No.
That wasn't your favorite? None of your stories were about tests that you had to take? None of your stories were about that problem that you had to do or anything like that. And that's not to say that, we obviously, have you learned anything here at Alta Murrieta, our school?
Yeah.
I've learned a ton.
Okay. And that's good. Whew, that's good to hear. But I think the purpose, the moral of this story for anyone listening, if you're a teacher listening, you've just heard from 2 of our 5th graders telling 6 different stories. None of them were academic. Meaning, none of them's, that page 57 in my math book, that is the best page that I've ever done in elementary school. That was the best. I went home and told my mom about it. You didn't tell me that story. Now, or anything like that. Now, and that's if you're listening to this, teachers or principals or anybody, or parents, if you're listening to this, you've just told me stories, guys, about experiences. School should be an experience, because you told me stories about how you guys became best friends. You told me stories about a skit that you did. I've already forgotten. What was your first story, Jillian?
Mine was about my 2nd grade teacher.
That's strawberries and whipped cream. So the first story you told, the first thing that came to your mind was strawberries and whipped cream. Teachers, administrators, if you're hearing this, I would hope that you would take from this episode, and I'm taking from it, is, Jillian, and we got to make sure that we make school not only academic, it can't be all strawberries and whipped cream. We do have to crack the math book, and we do have to teach you, which is good, but we have to balance that with fun experiences, because, again, none of your stories, and that's not to say you don't have fun, because I'll put you on the spot right here. Do you like your teacher?
Oh, yes. I love her.
What do you love about Mrs. Marcus? Because Mrs. Marcus, if you're listening right now, we're going to give you a shout-out worldwide.
Oh, I just got to say the best thing about her is that she always finds a way to make something fun. Like, I wasn't here personally, but shout out to Miss Marcus. She gave us some exciting news a couple of weeks ago, and the way she did that was...
we did a math page. It was a secret code.
And they had to decode it. We had to decode it, and the exciting news was on the decoded message.
So it was like she gave you a code, and you had to crack the code, and this equaled a letter, this equaled a letter, and once you put it all together, you were able to read something. And Zavian, what was the message?
The message was, our teacher is having a baby.
Mrs. Marcus is pregnant. She's having a baby, which is exciting news. But rather than just say, hey, boys and girls, she took that and she made it into a learning, fun experience.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think a teacher should be. Teachers shouldn't be, okay, class, take out your math books, turn to chapter 7. I think teachers, in my opinion,
should have more fun.
Yeah, they should find a way, like, okay, students, turn to chapter 7 and let's write out a decoded, make your own decoded message for the class to solve. Or do like Kahoots. Kahoots are a fun way to learn.
Kahoots, for anyone not listening. Zavian, what's a Kahoot?
Kahoot is basically a set of 10 questions, or however many questions you want to make it. And basically, it's like a math question or just any kind of question. And there are different answers. So if it was, what is 94 subtracted by 73? Mm-hmm. You could put like 21 as an answer, 7 and it could be different answers.
So there's like 4 multiple choice answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so when you go into the create a Kahoot, you give the person as much time, the people who are playing it, as much time as you think they would need.
Mm-hmm.
You select the correct answer, so in this case it'd be 21. And you'd basically get to solve your problem.
And you've played Kahoots that Mrs. Marcus has created, but you have also created your own Kahoots.
Yeah.
Did you learn by making those?
Yeah.
And it actually, I think that's another important thing that comes with learning. Not only do the teachers have to teach you, but sometimes just kids have to teach themselves. Like by making their own Kahoot, they took what our teacher has taught us and then put it into our own extensive minds, and we worked together as teams to solve all those challenging puzzles, and it was really, really fun in the end.
You learn best by teaching.
Mm-hmm.
As I taught for a long time too, and so many times I got really good at things because I taught them. If you have to know it in order to teach it. So I agree with you, Jillian. One of the best ways to learn is to teach something. So guys, thank you.
You're welcome.
This was awesome. This was even better than I anticipated. And for anyone listening, Mom, Dad, because at least my mom and dad are listening, right? Hopefully.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, I hope you got something out of this, because again, I've had 36 previous episodes leading up to this, and we've talked to amazing educators, but who better to tell you, Jillian said it, this is what a teacher should be. This is how school should be. Zavian and Jillian, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to do this. I appreciate it. And for everyone listening, thank you. Hopefully you got something out of this. And as always, if you have not already subscribed. You can get it in the iTunes store or Google Play. Just do a search for Teaching Tales. And if you like what you hear, not only subscribe, please drop a review, because again, that helps. A rating, a review helps get the word out to hopefully get this into the hands and on the iPods and everything of as many educators as possible. You can also find it on my website at brentcoley.com. Jillian, Zavian, thank you again. Everyone, thanks for listening. And until next time, have a good one.